Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Everyone is having a great time tonight. So my name is Richard Berry. I'm the manager of startup programs here at the University of Newcastle, and I have had the incredible pleasure of working with the 9 founders you're about to hear from this evening. But before I begin, I'd like to extend my respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island people, the world's most ancient, continuous civilization on Earth. It is a privilege to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we are gathered today, and I pay my respects to elders past and present. I am standing on a Wabakal and Worimi land. It always was and always will be Aboriginal land. So I am so delighted this evening to welcome you all to the I2N Accelerator demo night. It has been so many months in the making, and you're about to hear some incredible pitches from some incredible founders who have put in a huge amount of work to get to this point. Firstly, a bit of housekeeping for tonight. Many of you have been here, but for those who haven't, we have emergency exits. They're down the side, down the rear of the building and down the sides through the entrances that you entered in. If there is an emergency, we will muster behind the building, behind the car park. There are toilets behind the tiered seating that you're on at the moment, and on the mezzanine level for male and female, and accessible behind the stairs. The University of Newcastle acknowledges its role in driving economic diversity and growth in our regions. The Integrated Innovation Network, or the I2N, as we're better known as, was established 7 years ago, which is incredible, 7 whole years, to support innovators and entrepreneurs like many of you in the room tonight. We fuel their success, regardless of their affiliation to the University of Newcastle, by connecting them to the things that they need most: community, coaching, customers, and capital. We have built a networked, vibrant ecosystem which supports them all through each stage of their journey, the start to the end, building a team, scaling a team, making sure an idea has legs. From the humble beginnings of our prototype in Hunter Street, if you can remember, to now our purpose-built headquarters here in Q Building, where we are this evening. The I2N has accelerated and incubated more than 130 teams. They've gone on to raise more than $42 million in capital. And generate $25 million in revenue. That's exciting. They're good numbers, they're big numbers, but that is really exciting because these businesses have created over 239 jobs and hundreds of student engagements from the university. Now, none of this could have happened without the ongoing support of our university's President and Vice Chancellor, Alex Selinsky, and our Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Z. Upton, and Pro Vice Chancellor, Warwick Dawson. The university's commitment to supporting innovators and entrepreneurs across our region, no matter their affiliation, is a testament to our institution's commitment to the growth and prosperity of our regions. We are so fortunate to be in a position of a one university city and to capture that entire group of people, that entire population, and support them from the early stages to the late stages of their ventures. Our valued partnerships are also key to the ability to deliver support to founders from the Hunter Valley and Central Coast regions. We align our efforts to the New South Wales Government through the Boosting Business Innovation Program and our gold strategic partners who are here with us tonight, Davies, Collis and Cave and the Port of Newcastle. We are able to deliver entrepreneurship programs with the knowledge and with their knowledge and resources that help shape the ventures that you'll hear from this evening. And having an entrepreneur in residence involved in a program such as this opens up the opportunities for each founder. Their networks, their know-how, and inherent excitement for problem solving serves as a catapult for the progress of each founder. And James has delivered that in spades. Being no stranger to the ups and downs of the startup journey himself, James has worked tirelessly, literally tirelessly, well above and beyond the call, to make sure that each founder is challenging their assumptions and moving on to the next level. This program would not be the same without James. And now I'll hand over to James, the co-founder of Diffuse Energy and our entrepreneur in residence.
Jumps tall buildings in a single bound, et cetera, et cetera. So a couple of things. So most people know I used to work at the uni and now I'm kind of 1 foot out of the uni. So there's a few things that I get to say that people inside the uni can't. So if you're inside the uni, you hear the word impact rallied around a lot. And then what's going to happen tonight is like the best display you'll see of the impact that the university creates in community. These teams didn't have a great affiliation with the uni before they came here, right? And so it's one of the few universities that offers this support to programs to outsiders, so to speak. So well done, university. Thank you. We don't often get to say, yay, New South Wales Government, but this program's partially funded by the New South Wales Government. So here's a rare opportunity to say, yay, New South Wales Government. And the unsung heroes of the program are the mentors out beyond me, who I very deliberately don't speak too much during the program, so that there's a bit of wealth of knowledge rather than an echo chamber. So all the founders who are mentors who are kind of dotted around in the room, thank you very, very much. All they get is good vibes, right? And so well done. So tonight I wanted to start with a little bit of a story about skimming rocks across a pond. It turns out that most people can do it with a bit of practice. It's hard to know how well or good you are at it without other people around you. And there is a method, a tried and proven method to skimming rocks. And it's much easier if someone shows you how. If you set up a group of people skimming rocks, very quickly a competition ensues. And people are comparing notes, working out what the best rocks are, picking the shape of the rock, how to hold the rock, how to throw the rock. Now, I thought I was really clever when I came up with this analogy, throwing rocks, because everyone was going to get it right. But I bet you're all thinking the rock is this nice, shiny product that these people have created. It's not. It's the customer. As the EIR, my focus on the customer is sometimes annoying for the founders because they want to talk about their product. So what is an EIR anyway? I go to lots of barbecues and people say, what are you doing at the uni? And I say, oh, I'm the EIR. And they go, what the hell's that? And it's kind of a difficult question to answer. But I see it as a heady mix. There's a long list here. A coach, mentor, curious, counsel, tutor, therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, protagonist, critic, connector, guide, catalyst, experiment creator, percipient, mediator, empath, idea generator. It goes on. And you get to do all that in a kind of upbeat way. And then do that with 20 teams. If you want to look up the word cognitive switching, you might find out that's kind of tiring, but super rewarding. The cohort in this program is super varied, and that kind of adds a great deal of power. We started with 20 teams, and we had people from energy, manufacturing, health, marketing, aged care, IoT monitoring, management apps, mobility, death tech, which is a new one for me, and online marketplaces. With all this, we've had a heap of fun. We've done thousands of customer interactions, hundreds of business experiments, and plenty of success, and a few disappointments, failures, and a couple of tears. Some shout outs, and I won't give too much away. We had 2 teams come into this program with little more than an idea. Both of those teams are now in market with consistent growth and consistent revenue, just a few months later. We got 2 teams, one with a PhD student and one with 2 undergraduate students from the university, which is pretty cool. And we had 1 team that came with an existing product. They won't mind me saying they might have been a little bit disorganised. Now they're organised, and in the last week have raised their annual recurring revenue by more than $40,000, which is just an amazing. All of the teams have undergone massive personal growth. So teams, just take a quick beat and just think about how far you've come in the last few months. That's enough, now we've got to get on with it. The cohort has been one of the most amazing cohorts I've ever been involved with as far as being really good people. We would go upstairs and there'd be a workshop running upstairs, and we'd all look at each other and say, who's running this workshop? And they'd go, they are, because of some problem that they wanted to solve. They formed little working groups to solve common problems. We even had a retreat. So if anyone's here thinking about this next year, retreat is definitely on the cards again. So you've all been really, really rewarding to work with. So just from a personal note, thank you very much. Each year I like to give a bit of a shout out to a book that's been reading, and this year's book recommendation was from Ariel. And the book is 10x is easier than 2x. And the nutshell of the book is, if you have a huge, crazy goal, most of the easy options to grow disappear because the goal is so huge, and you get real clarity on what the path that's required to achieve what you need to achieve. And you can kind of forget about everything else. So teams, continue on your path. Understand that it's going to change daily, and you'll have to work that out. It'll be hard, but the rewards could be really amazing. An audience, we didn't invite you by accident. You can also forget everything else and focus on the teams and their huge goals and how you might be able to help. All of them are shaping for success. Some will need channels to market, others money, others need the right people, and some just need, you might just be a really good bloody customer for them. So tonight is your chance to pay it forward or just pay for it. One pilgrim is a zealot and two or more is a pilgrimage. Thank you.
He's amazing, right? He's so good. So the I2N Accelerator, the program itself, has been developed with a sharp focus on founder development. This included 9 volunteer mentors drawn from our BMS program, which provided weekly mentoring sessions. An EIR, such as James, who provided weekly, more than weekly, group one-on-one coaching sessions, and 12 subject matter experts who rose to the call and delivered insight workshops throughout the program. Many of them are here today, and here's a snapshot of this program, their involvement, their names and faces of all who were involved. Thank you. I'm flashed with memories week on week of every one of those facilitators who joined us in the program to coach, to mentor, to teach each of the founders. You really are the value that makes up this program and help make it so awesome and so as good as it can be. Welcoming our cohort founders on the first week all the way back in May and watching them week on week discover, test, and in some cases pivot, and ultimately grow has been absolutely spectacular to see. I would like to offer my congratulations to each of you and your commitment to the program. It has been an absolute honour to have watched you grow and on this small leg of your journey. We are looking forward to continuing to support you with ongoing mentoring and co-working. You are about to take on the final boss of the game, but there is so much more of your adventure that awaits you. We have so much more support in store for you at the I2N, and the ecosystem is here to celebrate you and champion you. Next up this evening, you will hear 5-minute presentations from each of the founders that they have crafted painfully to get to you tonight. Following these presentations, you'll then be able to connect with each of them. They'll have booths, and over some food and some drink, they would love to meet each of you. As James said, you could be an important stakeholder in their business journey. But let's get into it. I now have the absolute pleasure of introducing our first founders, Leonie Cutts and Craig Brown of CCS Corporation. Please give it up for them.
Good evening. My name is Craig.
And I'm Leonie.
And we are co-founders of CCS Corporation and partners in life. At the end of March 2021, my dad came to live with us because he was no longer able to live by himself. It was okay at first, but after about 14 months, the physical care became way too hard for us and it really wasn't safe for him. So reluctantly, we moved Dad into an aged care facility. And over the last 12 months of visits, my whole family has kind of struggled to engage with him. Now, as two people with a long history making games and products that turn family gatherings and business meetings into moments of meaningful connection, this got us thinking. And it brought us face to face with a big growing problem in residential aged care.
That problem is social isolation or loss of human connection. And we all need connection. Without it, we're at risk of serious physical, mental, and emotional decline. This elder gentleman could possibly be one of the 75,000 ageing Australians who right now is socially isolated in aged care. That makes up 1/3 of the 220,000 residents in aged care that spend up to half their time alone. Our investigations show that there's 3 key reasons that this is happening, because I know after working with these beautiful people that it's not the people in there are the most compassionate people that you'll find. So care homes are really struggling to maintain staff levels, and carers are really time-strapped. Physical care has to take priority over social needs. And visiting families really want to connect, but struggle to engage and enjoy the experience, which can often lead to fewer and shorter visits.
And we're watching these bullet points play out with my dad right now. So at present, care homes do their best to engage with residents with things like memorabilia, sing-alongs, even virtual reality. Another technique they sometimes try is photo elicitation. That's using pictures. Okay, that's using pictures. There we go. That was not my fault, that one. That's using pictures to trigger thoughts, memories, and ideas and conversations. And this is something we know a lot about. We've been working with this proven technique for years, and it's the foundation of our solution. Our solution is Carissa, an easy-to-use mobile application that gives anyone activities, simple activities that are image-driven that they can use to have better visits with their loved ones. Carers can use Carissa anytime to have social emotional support activities with their residents, including recording care minutes. And families, visiting families of any age, can use Carissa to have better visits, better engagement, beyond the typical, what did you have for lunch, Dad, kind of conversations.
So over the last 7 months, we have had 14 care homes conduct over 50 hours of interactions, and we've had 90 carer reports on those interactions. One of our care homes is just down the road in Coombong. Thank you, Lyndall. And the other 13 are in East Ayrshire, Scotland. So why Scotland? That is a longer story, but essentially, after a referral, one Scottish thing led to another, and we started with 5 care homes, and then another 8 came on board when they saw the positive results. Positive results, thank you. Positive results like these, and from the carers' comments, you can see that there's really 2 ways that our activities are improving connection. One is mood and an improvement in mood, and I think these smiley faces show it all. And the second is a high level of engagement.
So where are we on the roadmap? Well, the board game. Our care homes, our pilot homes, and the University of Stirling have helped us to validate our digital approach. That's Stirling University in that little picture at the top, showcasing some great results recently. This week, and we didn't come into I2N with this week we went live in the App Store with our first Carissa version, thank you. And we initiated our first Carissa carers and our 15th pilot care home. And we'll be rolling Carissa out to our other care homes, making our way through to our first subscribing care homes. From there we will scale, and we'll also be able to move from residential into in-home care and other care spaces, and into completely different cohorts like learning and development and HR.
So tonight, we need your help. If you are in residential aged care, or you know somebody in the industry, then please scan the code and let's talk. And then secondly, if you have a family member in aged care or in-home care and want to stay in touch because you want to see our future developments with Carissa, please scan our other code and we will get in touch soon. And ultimately, we hope that you can all gather together and help us eradicate social isolation, one conversation at a time.
And come and see us at the booth. Thank you very much.
I'd like to introduce Abid Khan of Thermalog. Give it up for Abid.
I got higher beats than I thought I would. Anyways, hi everyone. My name's Abid. I'm the founder and CEO of Thermalog. But before I begin, I'd like you to tell a story which led to all of this. A few years ago, while working at a convenience store, I had a malfunction in the freezer, which led to a stock loss where I had to throw away all the ice creams. It was devastating. And not only that, I actually took one in and refroze and then ate it, and then you can tell by the picture how it turned out. So that led me to thinking, well, you know, I got to do something about it. And not only that, I did a bit of digging around, and I found that the problem was bigger than I anticipated. Over $200 billion worth of stock is lost worldwide in cold chain every year. And 1 in 6 people get food poisoning each year. After 5.5 million Australians getting sick last year due to food poisoning, the government has had it. They are tightening the regulations, and there are new food safety standards coming into effect next month. And that puts us in a perfect position where we have a solution that is cost effective, is compliant with the new regulations, and prevents food spoilage. So real-time monitoring, we do that by real-time monitoring, providing automated logging, and providing prompt alerts to allow our clients to save and respond to the problem. We have this tiny little sensors that we install anywhere between -40 to 120 degrees. Waterproof, of course. You can stick them, clip them, tie them, whatever you want with them, really. And they send all the information down to our system and then onto the cloud where it gets all the information through. And we also have wireless probes which are used to track the inbound inventory. Moving on to the traction, we do have some successes. We are selling. So over the last 5 months, we have saved $48,000 worth of stock across 33 sites, and we got our eyes on 396 assets. And just to add, $26,000 is saved within 500 meters of this building where you're sitting. So some of the clients are listed down there. Moving on, and when I said that I'm after the ice cream, I meant the corner store across the store. We've saved their ice cream twice. You can see the top ones over there. So these are the numbers of the market, and these are the registered numbers according to the industry in Australia. If we captured 30% of the market, that would give us $76 million worth of sales revenue with $26 million worth of annual recurring revenue. Let's think big. What if we go global? There's 8 million sites to be monitored, and with potential revenue of $24 billion to be raised. That's big. Flexible and customer focused. We've got 2 ways where we tackle our clients. It's very similar to how you buy a phone. You get a phone where it's outright, you get a SIM card with it and you pay for the SIM card, or you buy it over a plan where you pay it over time. So one or the other, they both have their pros and cons. We can talk more about it if you want later by the end of it. And all of this was not possible. I have a team that works very well and is ready to take on any task, innovative task there is to make it all happen. And I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge James and the I2N team and the mentors in Jared to stand by me and help me make it all happen. We have a 5-year journey ahead of us. We want to be the market leader in this space. Now, we are set out on track for our first year. On the second year, we will require our presence throughout Australia, and we'll have to have the sales representation, for which we anticipate we would require a seed round to raise funds early next year. If you're one of the people who love to invest, please come and talk to me. We're also looking for connections into the following industries on the slide, which are distributors, facility maintenance, someone in food and beverage industry, pharmacy and healthcare. And also, if someone amongst you, or if you know someone who is energetic, enthusiastic, and would love to join our team and take it to the next level and knows a lot about sales, please come and talk to me. I'd love to hear from you. So, join us on a mission to save the world, one ice cream at a time, because scoops are only good for the soul when they're in a cone, not a puddle. Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce Joe from Bede. Give it up for Joe.
Hi everyone, my name's Joe and I'm from Bede. I'm our IT lead, and I'm here tonight with my 2 co-founders, Mark and Simon. Both Mark and Simon have got a proven track record with digital transformation in the automotive space, and they've got 20 years experience in that. For the last 10 years, the 3 of us have been delivering business solutions, bespoke business solutions for the auto industry, focusing on sales and marketing. One of the consistent problems that we've seen with our clients has been their inability to match word of mouth in the digital space. Businesses are missing out on the fact that we like people like ourselves, and what they have is customers that are essentially researching 24/7. They're looking for trustworthy, authentic content, and they can't find it. So that's why we built Beed. With customers supporting online, via online, with authentic content, businesses are able to capitalise on their marketing activities. They're able to speed up their sales cycles. And most importantly, they can get away from discounting on price. They can sell with value and reputation. Beed's tech stack touches on every part of the sales journey. Our platform is flexible and it generates a continuous flow of customer content. Most of our clients have a complex sales process, and/or most of them also have complex products or services that require a significant amount of research before a sale is actually made. What Beed does is it makes it fast and simple to generate content, it makes it easy to manage it, and then it makes it easy to deploy that content. What that does is it removes a significant amount of friction for the buyer or prospective buyers, and also for the business in getting their message out there. Here are a couple of samples of our deployment of content. As you'd expect, we can obviously do that across the web. We can do that with install. And we also do it across socials. This is a recent posting from earlier this month on the 1st of November. Now, this is a Hunter client that uses our product, and they've used our product to actually generate this review. Now, this review was 10 times more engaging than their average curated marketing post with Facebook. It had over 500 views, it had 92 locals engaged, and it also had 50-odd comments that were posted associated with it. Now, our product's producing this at a fraction of the cost of normal marketing spend, and we're producing a lot of it. How are the rest of our clients going? Look, on average, most of our clients with their customers are getting a 70% return rate with their content requests. That content that's being generated by their clients, so not by them, by their clients, is generally 10 times more engaging and is shared 30 times more through social posts. And our best success so far has been a tripling of gross profits with a business using our product. Has the accelerator worked? We can see James's point of inflection there. We've achieved what he wanted us to do. Look, since we've started the I2N, we've essentially, the white line there, we've essentially doubled our verticals that we're in. So we've gone from 4 verticals to 7 or 8 verticals. We're across all states. We've also hired a salesperson. But more importantly, we have increased our annual recurring revenue by 50%. So perhaps a small thank you to James for giving us a kick up the bum. What's next? So we're targeting 3,000 Australian clients. That's what we're looking to do over the next 2.5 years. In the States and overseas, we're looking at approximately 10,000 over the next 3 years. We've done a fair bit of work over in the States. We've got 6 pilots over there. And the US market is a lot more receptive to our product than what the Australian market is. They're way more progressive, and we know we've got an excellent opportunity over there in the US. We're going to continue to develop the product to obviously maintain retention or retain clients, but also to uplift the return on investment for the clients and for us. Ultimately, what we want to see is Beed recognised as the go-to product for client-generated content that's used by marketing agencies, marketing campaigns, and obviously for supporting businesses with their sales processes. Thank you very much. Come and have a chat to us afterwards in the booth, and thank you. And thank you again to all of the staff here at the university, James and Richard and co. Look, you've been absolutely fantastic, and you've definitely focused us or refocused us and help us achieve a lot of success the last 10 weeks. Thank you.
Please join me in welcoming Ryan and Sam from Ram Manufacturing.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ryan,
And I'm Sam.
and we are co-founders of Ram Manufacturing. So, I grew up in the carpet laying industry. My father was a carpet layer, my oldest brother was a carpet layer. I followed suit, and after finishing my apprenticeship, I joined the University of Newcastle to study a degree in business, which is also where I met Sam. There is a core product that's used in the flooring industry, which is called gripper. This is installed around the perimeter of the room before carpet gets installed, and it's made of plywood. When a carpet layer comes to replace your carpet, it should look like this. However, what often happens is the layer will pull up the carpet, and he will find that it will look like this. Degradation can happen just based on time, but it also happens at an extremely accelerated rate when it's exposed to moisture. The Australian standard stipulates that layers can only reuse this product if it shows no signs of rust or moisture damage. So, in addition to that problem, we also discovered that this was still caught up in the past. This is an 84-year-old product, and it has been manufactured pretty much the exact same way this entire time. It's still manufactured in 4-foot lengths, which is 1.2 meters, which do not fit on Australian standard pallets, which are 1.1. That makes logistics significantly more difficult and dangerous than they need to be. So, our solution is the echidna strip, made from 100% recycled plastic using stainless steel pins made in 1.1 meter lengths. It eliminates any possibility of degradation whilst making logistics easier and safer. In addition to this, the material properties of plastic mean that plastic can be bent where plywood must be cut. Our features allow layers to lay around the same profile with fewer pieces and fewer cuts, meaning they can do their job faster and easier. So, during the accelerator, we were finally prepared to get this out into the world, and we put it up on Facebook. From that, we received 12,532 expressions of interest for this product from and this came from all levels of the supply chain, from all major distributors and layers across the country. So, we are planning to raise funding to set up a manufacturing facility that will allow us to manufacture 100,000 boxes a year, which would generate $3 million in revenue and divert 1,500 tons of plastic from the waste cycle for decades. Our big hairy goal, though, is to capture the entire Australian and New Zealand market as quickly as we possibly can. So, within Australia, we are working with 2 of the 5 major distributors who have 46 stores across the country, and they both sell 120,000 boxes annually. In addition to this, we have a team that have boots on the ground in New Zealand who are working on a distribution and sales strategy, and they are extremely keen to get an exclusive distribution of echidna strip in their country.
So currently, gripper is still manufactured in the same way it was 84 years ago. Trees are still harvested to be turned into plywood, and then through machinery to convert that into gripper. We want to disrupt this industry by taking advantage of the waste that's produced within Australia and producing a echidna strip to add significant value to that waste and lock it up within the economy for decades. Out of the 10 carpet layer manufacturers, well, tack strip manufacturers that resided in Australia, only one of them remains, BBS Flooring, down in Victoria. A large majority of the market has been captured by China as they're manufacturing for the bottom line. With the help of BBS Flooring, we've been able to validate that the current machinery that's used to make gripper can be used with recycled plastic. And it's with the help of BBS that we are able to manufacture our first run of boxes to get out to the layers and the distributors who have shown great interest in them to show them that we can manufacture this at scale. Our plan is to access funding so that we can use this technology that's used in Victoria to produce the echidna strip and bring that up into the Hunter region to take advantage of the waste that's produced here to manufacture echidna strip. It's with this process that we're able to manufacture echidna strip for $17 a box, which is 26% cheaper than their wooden counterpart. We're going to be... We can be competitive in this market because we can produce a product that is significantly cheaper than our competitors. Our product has features, advantages, and benefits that aren't available in the market, and our focus is on the end user of the product, the carpet layers, and no one has ever focused on them before. So from the initial idea back in 2021, with the prototyping and validation, with the help of the I2N community, we've been able to come here today to ask for a funding so that we can establish the manufacturing process within this region, so that by Q4 next year, we'll be able to have boxes manufactured and out into the market.
So our team currently consists of myself as CEO, Sam as CTO, Bella, who's the leader of our marketing campaign at the moment, the entire I2N team, who has been an incredible backbone and supported us and pushed us to get to where we are now. But what is not shown on this slide is the extensive network that we've built up through the university and industry in the Hunter region, which is also adding a significant amount of value to our endeavors. Gotta start manufacturing these soon. So, manufacturing is not an easy business to get into, but we want to build a large and enduring business. We want to build this business based off circular economy practices, and we want to do it in the Hunter region because the circular economy and clean energy revolution is not going to happen without sovereign manufacturing capabilities. Pending the feedback from our initial run, we will be prepared to do a raise. We anticipate that this will be a $700,000 raise. This will cover our equipment, our stock, and wages for the first 6 months, which will allow us to get products into the market, start generating revenue, and start the race, I suppose. So thank you, everybody. And if you're interested, please come talk to us.
Please join me in welcoming Ariel from EI Platform.
What a way to start with clicker issues. Good evening, everybody. My name's Avril from the Energy Intelligence Platform. I'd like you to think about a 40-year-old apartment building built for purpose in the 1980s. Think about the connected devices we had back then as households. And now think about the connected devices we have today. And the nature of the devices that we have today has changed over time. Imagine if of the 30 units, all of them adopted an EV in the next 5 years. This would overload the power supply and cause blackouts. Strata management and property management companies face this issue every day. Now think of this from a business context, with even more load to manage. Computers, servers, air conditioning, EVs for staff, the list goes on. Electricity and the way we use it in our society is extremely complicated. Demand is only going up, and as we all know, energy prices are going up with it. All of this on ageing infrastructure from, on average, the 1950s presents a huge problem for businesses and property managers. It's also worth mentioning that business energy billing structures are also far more complicated than that of their residential counterparts. We're living in a new world, and we need new solutions to problems that we haven't faced before. Businesses need to optimise their energy usage to plan for this increase in demand to better manage the cost. So how can businesses and property managers make sense of all of this and optimise their energy usage to manage their costs in this ever-changing landscape? Imagine if your building could not only tell you how it uses energy in real time, but also control and predict future usage and costs. That's the power of our Energy Intelligence Platform, or EI platform as we call it. The EI platform consists of a state-of-the-art device. It's like an Apple Watch or wearable for the building, coupled with an AI-driven software to not only reveal the energy usage, but also controls demand both in real time. Now businesses and property managers have the data they need and the mechanisms to effect change with the click of a button. We have 3 key features I'd like to highlight this evening. Number 1, demand management controls. By lowering peak demand and flattening the overall demand curve, businesses could save up to 30% of their energy costs, which could equate to tens of thousands of dollars each year. Our second is a personal energy expert. Our customers get matched with a personal energy expert because we believe that the most important thing for society to succeed is people and power. We've solved the power management problem, and we've also solved the people aspect when it comes to power management. We have multiple executed letters of engagement from leading electrical contractors based here in Newcastle, also the Central Coast and Sydney, who will install and manage their own customers as the demand outgrows our team. We've already got sites live with the University of Newcastle right here in the I2N building that we're sitting in this evening, as well as the City of Sydney, Maitland Council, Trinity 8 Marina and Restaurant, and multiple large residential apartment buildings that are strata managed around Newcastle. In the last 12 weeks, we've gone from idea-only stage to commercialisation, growing our business by over 800%, having onboarded 9 customers across 18 sites, and we have 14 future developments that have our technology specified in their design documentation in line with the Building Code of Australia requirements. So why do our early adopters trust us? Our co-founding team consists of CEO Jonathan Carroll, who is joining me this evening, who has over 24 years experience as an electrician and then electrical engineer, as well as owner and operator of Electrical Projects Australia, based here in Newcastle. Myself as COO, with over 16 years experience in commercialisation of startups and scale-ups. And our CTO, Matthew Campbell, with over 17 years experience as an IT engineer and most recently 5 years experience as an electrical engineer. Together, we have built, managed and launched thousands of ideas, projects and campaigns for some of the biggest brands you know. We're planning on adding 25 new sites per quarter next year, totaling 100 sites by the end of 2024. And we'll also be launching our beta platform in Q3 of next year. Our business model is simple. We have an upfront fee for hardware installation and a monthly subscription for the SaaS solution that is 1/10 the cost of what we can save our customers. We want to help. So if you or someone you know is interested in installing electric vehicles, reducing peak demand and overall costs, or understanding more, let's connect. Thank you.
How good has that been? And we're only halfway through. I'd now like to invite everyone for a 10-minute break. If you don't have to get up, if you don't need to use the bathroom, please stay seated and we'll be back soon. It might be a good idea to grab your phones, take some photos, maybe share on socials how good and how awesome each of these ventures are. But we'll be back here in just under 10 minutes, so I'll see you all soon.
Okay, I think we better kick off there. And I don't mind when there's noise in the background because it's people are excited, right? Hi everyone, I'm really excited to be here to kick off the second stage of our evening of wonderful businesses and wonderful ideas. And I think some of the themes that have been touched on are community and impacts. I'm going to come back to those in a minute, but in a under 5-minute way, okay? I'm Lauren Eade. I'm an associate principal with Davies, Collison Cave Intellectual Property, and we are very proud gold strategic partners of the I2N program here at the University of Newcastle. And indeed, we have a lovely office upstairs, and anyone can come and see me anytime they like. Davies, Collison Cave has a very long history of supporting businesses with the commercialisation, protection and enforcement of intellectual property. And when I say long, I mean 140 years plus. My own experience in intellectual property is a tiny bit shorter than that. It's about 23 years, so still quite a lot though. Davies, Collison Cave's motto is ensuring brilliance thrives, and we've already heard so much brilliance tonight, right? And we're about to hear so much more. Every year, the accelerator cohorts come through I2N, and every year I tell myself it cannot possibly get any better than these amazing businesses, and every year, without fail, I'm proven wrong. It's really amazing to be part of it and to have that ability to share in the inspiration that's coming through. We are all about helping. That's what ensuring brilliance thrives means, but it's also about appreciating the brilliance when it comes through the door, right? Which is an opportunity that we have today. I don't need to tell anyone here that I2N has an amazing track record of fostering entrepreneurial talent, of doing that bigger and better every year. It is our pleasure to have the opportunity to help with that, to be on board, to layer over the support that I2N already so ably provides to program participants. And I'm sure everyone who's been through the latest accelerator cohort can attest to that, and we've already heard many people do exactly that. And then I want to come back to the impact point, right? Because from time to time, people will say to me, well, how can we tell that these accelerator programs, I2N in particular, how can we tell that they're having an impact in the business? And I can tell you from my experience that the impact is there. And we see the impact in the increasing sophistication of the businesses that come through year after year. If we're looking back to the olden days in Hunter Street in a tiny little kind of converted terrace kind of situation, and what we were excited to work with then, and now we think of now, it's just a completely different ball game that we're in. It's been so exciting to be on that journey over the last few years of I2N's existence, even in the before times, before COVID, right? So the impact is there, and we are so proud to get to be part of the impact that is made on there. It has been my privilege to work with all of the founders here today. That has included sharing the visions. I always get everyone to start with their elevator pitch, and I sit down, and the reason I get everyone to start with the elevator pitch is firstly because that's a really good way to get a succinct view of a business, but really the reason I do it is I love elevator pitches. So a night like tonight where I get to listen to multiple of them one after the other, I couldn't imagine anything better. As part of our work with I2N, we provide initial content, training people in IP. Normally that takes about an hour or an hour and a half, and it's a testament to this program that for you guys it was 2.5 hours of concentrated IP. By the end of it, I needed a gastrolite and a good lie down, but I didn't get that. So many fantastic questions and so much quality intellectual property packed into so many brilliant minds. It's an absolute privilege to work with you. The momentum and traction of all of the businesses that we've heard of so far, that we're about to hear of again, a testament to I2N's programs, to the experience that I2N provides, but may I say a testament to I2N's humans, who are magnificent humans. That's Siobhan, that's Richard, and that's Kelly and Taylor, and of course James. 4 points. You're all inspirational, and I really love getting to work with you. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from everyone, the remaining businesses tonight. I'm looking forward to coming and chatting with businesses that I've already had the privilege of an elevator pitch, to get more elevator pitch. Different elevator pitch is going to be what I'm about. Merch, I love merch as well. And look, guys, I'm so proud of you all. I'm really looking forward to watching you grow. I hope that Davies, Collison Cave can continue to support you all as you move forward, and certainly we are going to continue supporting I2N. And now I'm going to hand over to Simon Burns, Port of Newcastle.
Thanks very much, Lauren. And so I have to echo the same, like what a fantastic event. It's actually, I love bringing my kids along to these events. We've never had to put it on a roster system because they've all worked out this is the place to come, which is fantastic. So well done, Siobhan, Richard, and the team. Every time we come, I think, it's just getting better and better, more and more people, and thanks for everyone making the effort tonight in the inclement weather. Touching on place as well, it's just so important to have a place, a fantastic, inspiring place like this to come together and hear really exciting ideas from people that are coming through. It's certainly a great break in my normal business day, it's not always this exciting. So this is fantastic. So the Port is feeling very lucky to be able to partner with the university that had the vision, not only for this place, but for these types of events. And it's fantastic to be working with them in all things innovation. So the Port kind of sees its role, like that comment that James made before around 10x is easier than 2x. That's the kind of space that we want to play in. So at the bottom of that, we're trying to clear as many pathways to scale as possible. So what we'd love to do would be to have a precinct where we could have people come in and out as tenants. We can respect the place that they're in on their journey and be flexible about having 1 year, 5 years, growing into 10 years as people go on that scale journey. At the top end of stuff that we do, we look at aggregating infrastructure and try to drive economies of scale and scope. So in the pathways to market, looking at a fully automated deep water container terminal, which hopefully all these fantastic products that are going to be manufactured here in the Hunter have an easy and efficient pathway to markets. On the other side of things, we're looking at clean energy. So it's really exciting to be involved with the Clean Tech Accelerator, which will take place next year, and that'll be fantastic. We'd love to bring some of our customers along, so when we go to meetings in Japan, Taiwan, Korea, they all very much want to know what's the innovation and R&D that's happening here in the Hunter. So they have... So their view of this region is a region that's provided them with energy security for decades. Korea in particular has drawn on the energy from this area where they've gone from being one of the least developed countries after the war to being now a G8 powerhouse, manufacturing all the fantastic tech that we take for granted. And so that connection into local businesses is actually something that's really, really important to them, and something where we see we can differentiate, where people are looking at investing in clean energy as part of that future. But I know you're not here to hear from me, and so we'll hear from the fantastic people to come, and I'd love to see some of these products coming through the Port, and it doesn't all have to be manufactured products. Like one of the things that we're looking at is that we're a volumes-based business, and looking at all things sustainable. I think we can all agree that volume is probably not the way for the future. So that last presentation around being smarter around how we use our resources, we see that as being a key part of this region's future as well. So thanks for having us along, and thanks to Siobhan for having us as a sponsor. We love coming to these events. Thanks.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Simon. The support from both of you and from the organisations behind you has enabled us year on year to level up the delivery of our accelerators and our pre-accelerators right here from the university. So thank you so much. I now have the great pleasure of introducing to you all Heather Hocking, the founder of Water Monitor. Give it up for Heather.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming out in this rain. My name's Heather Hocking. I have one question for you. Have you, or one of your relatives, maybe a colleague, cared for someone who has heart failure, has succumbed to heart failure? If they have, they'd be one of more than 29 million people with this issue. Some thrive. They can go home with medication and change of lifestyle, but unfortunately many don't survive. 8 people in Australia every day die from heart failure. 73,000 are hospitalised each year, equating to $3.1 billion in healthcare. Unfortunately, the over 65s are overrepresented. Each of those hospitalisations, usually about 8 to 10 days, costs about $10,000. There's many forms of heart failure. The majority, 60%, we attribute to congestive heart failure. That means the body is overloaded with too much fluid. The fluid congests around the lungs and the heart, sometimes in the extremities. This makes it very hard for the heart to pump and even harder to breathe. And that is why it's so critical that we take stock of how much fluid a patient is drinking. It's not only the water they're drinking, but also the tea, coffee, soup, juice, jelly, ice cream. Sometimes they're not taken into account. Now, the current model, if the hospital's lucky enough to have electronic medical records, that's fine, but most often they're using the tried and tested, we'll see about that, fluid balance chart. Now, this I recognise from way back when I was a registered nurse too many decades ago. It's not only cumbersome, it's complicated. It's not accessible. The patient can't help with that. It's up to the tired nurses. It's time consuming and they're already overworked. Unfortunately, this can lead to inaccuracies in the amount of fluid they have, with some dire consequences sometimes. In that case, I'd like you to meet my lovely mother. Vera had congestive heart failure, and so she was on a fluid restriction. So together we came up with an idea so that she could keep track. She loved her teas and coffees, but by the end of the day, she couldn't remember what she had for breakfast. And so I showed her how to keep track of all her soups and teas and coffees. She would mark it up on this tag. It's a bottleneck tag. When she couldn't do it, I could help her, or the other staff. The staff, the NUM in particular, recognised that it was an interesting, a novel idea, something different, and then they encouraged me. In fact, they invited me to do a pilot study in the coronary cardiac ward. So I thought, okay, I'll call it the water monitor. I've registered the trademark and the design registration, not only in Australia but elsewhere. So what is the water monitor? As I said, it's a bottleneck tag. It hangs on the 600ml water bottles, or either in the hospital or it could be used at home. So it's written up in real time. It's accessible. The patient can do it, or the staff. User-friendly, it's very easy. Not only is it portable, it could be put in a handbag or taken out with them. It's reusable because it's created on a synthetic paper, which is also recyclable. Didn't take much research to see just how many avenues there are, some channels to market to. So not only in hospitals, public-private hospitals, there's many of them, and their specialists, but nursing homes. Also pharmacies. They're dispensing fluid and heart medications all day, every day. Then there's the other avenues, the primary care, the GPs. They're all dealing with patients who have heart failure in one way or another. And then you have your in-home care and the suppliers to these people, so the mobility centres, the medical suppliers, and ultimately health insurers may even find that they could reduce their claims. So far, we started last year, and with the help of I2N, done a lot of market research, validation, lots of interviews. I have done the prototyping, reiterated, changed a couple of times, and have prepared the pilot study for the hospital in the Central Coast Local Health District. We're ready to submit for that. I have some early adopters, and I aim to build on those and increase some sales for next year. At the moment, as I said, the pilot study is at Central Coast Area Health, and its end goal is to see if we can reduce the re-hospital admissions and perhaps even keep the fluid balance charts more accurate, and therefore hopefully maybe even reduce the medication. We're partnering with the Central Coast Hospitals such that they've encouraged us to take the data, and they've not acknowledged my IP rights. I've also got 2 pharmacies who have stock in store. So not only the pilot study, which ultimately could lead to a wider clinical trial because there are other morbidities, dehydration and kidney disease. We'll continue with that next year, and I'd also like to increase the consignment in pharmacies, distributors, nursing homes, community centres, and of course New South Wales hospitals and then beyond. So if anybody out there happens to be in healthcare, then I would love to partner. I'd love to meet people and talk to people and find out how we can help, how we can get in touch and make connections, grow the network, so that we can spread the word that there are other ways to monitor fluid intake. And then we can empower their patients and their families to not only reduce hospitalisations, but in turn reduce the cost to the community. So feel free to come and talk to me. I'm happy to show you how it works. I have a website, and I'm happy to tell you that if anybody's interested, I have just gone live today with our sales channel on my website, so you can order online. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Tanya from BeeMo.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here and talk to you about BeeMo. I'm going to take the opportunity and take a little survey. How many of you have a car? How many of you have a second car? Okay, in the room we have the owners of more or less 350 cars. That's a lot. My name is Tanya. I'm the CEO of BeeMo, and you guessed it, today we're talking about cars. We love them. They're convenient, and they're everywhere, but they're harmful. They're polluting the cities, they are expensive, and they also create all the deficiencies of urban environment. Let's see what alternatives we have if we want to make a short trip, if we want to go to the supermarket or take the kids to school. We can take the car. We can call for a ride. If we're lucky and have a shared vehicle next to us, we can hire a car. Or if we have infinite time, we can take the bus. That's not sustainable. That's not a model that works. We need a new model that encapsulates both qualities, accessibility and affordability. Actually, I've studied this model in a 5-year research, and I have created a proof of concept. But not only that, I have explored the socioeconomic implications and the benefits for the local community. To give you an overview, today we need 2.4 car parks for each vehicle. The affordable housing discourse required to reduce this amount of parking in order to create buildable space. However, we need to donate a proportion of this land in order to have commercial fleets that will facilitate our mobility needs. What the new model suggests is we create the infrastructure to provide the direct collaboration between residents to communicate with each other and distribute the revenue back to the local community. This is BeeMo. This is a shift to vehicle sharing because it's based on blockchain technology, and it allows people to directly collaborate with each other in order to create a vibrant community, tailor their mobility, and have a model that improves their cost of life. Actually, 76% of the people that we have asked are keen to share their cars with their neighbors and people they trust. And think that only in New South Wales, we have 3.5 million cars that are second and third cars. Also, we will have 375,000 affordable homes. That means that those cars can facilitate the mobility of this new affordable housing. That leads to a passenger economy that is expected to build to reach 7 trillion up to 2050. So your ticket to this privileged form of mobility is simple. You download the app, you select your identity, you subscribe, and then you start sharing. There are 3 major breakthroughs behind the system of BeeMo. The first one is decentralization. That means that we use blockchain technology, and we eliminate the intermediaries. And also we eliminate the cost that is associated with the intermediaries. The second one is governance. Everyone who participates has a saying and creates its own tailored solution. And the third one is trust. BeeMo safeguards your property and also incentivize the behavior that you desire in order to foster trust between providers and commuters. The brains behind BeeMo is me, that I'm the CEO, and Theo, that is the CTO of the company. We collectively have an extensive experience in decentralized urban systems and also the strategic development of emerging technologies in transportation. Today we celebrate our last of the I2N Accelerator, but also we celebrate the beginning of a new journey that takes us forward. For us is the early stage fundraise that will happen in 2 months, and we will trial our MVP product in the first quarter of 2024. Our ambitious schedule indicates that we will have a market-ready product by the end of next year. That won't happen by itself. We need your support, and we need you to connect us with your networks of facility managers, of property developers that will want to launch this idea in order to have an early market trial. Also, we need your support in order to be prepared and have a complete folder when we go on capital raise. Before I close my presentation, I would like to invite you all to connect with us, leave us a feedback, say hello. It's a community project. It won't happen from one person. It needs all your ideas to work. I'm happy to talk more in the booth, and I want to thank all of you for being here today with this lousy weather.
Please join me in welcoming Joanna Fink from Yellow Shelf.
Hi, everyone. It is pretty exciting to be here tonight. So I'm the founder of Yellow Shelf. So firstly, do you consume books or podcasts? How do you know what to consume? Was that a yes? Yes. There are so many options. And as busy, time-poor humans, where do you start? There are so many choices. So I'm going to start out with some stats. Currently, there are 2.8 million active podcasts across the world. There are 4 million books released each year, and that equates to nearly 11,000 books published daily. Have you ever looked at Audible, the picture up here? And there's just so many options to choose. Or have you ever stood in an airport bookstore and you've got 10 minutes to get to your flight gate and there is just so many choices and you don't know what to pick? So the problem that I'm suggesting this evening is that we're busy, time-poor humans, yet we're keen to consume content. Humans need convenience, and we're keen to connect to the content before purchasing, reading, or listening. Also, traditional publishing is outdated. Authors pay, this model is about paying for costs, editing costs, marketing and distribution. So the truth is publishing needs to evolve and it needs to innovate. So our solution with Yellow Shelf has been to prepare a newsletter. We feature curated content and a link to short deep dive interviews with our creators. Those interviews are less than 10 minutes and ideally 5 minutes so you understand what the book or the podcast's about. Yellow Shelf complements the world of publishing and we may even slightly disrupt it. We work with authors, publishers, self-publishers, affiliates, and as well as podcast content creators. So in 13 weeks in this accelerator program, Yellow Shelf has launched a newsletter. We currently sit at more than 5,000 global engaged subscribers who are keen to consume my curated content and my short links to interviews. We are trending for an 8-month trend towards 50,000 subscribers, so we're going to work really hard towards that. So I want to talk to you about the business. Like I said, it's a curated business model. We email our subscribers weekly. Our subscribers do not pay for our service. Our subscribers are based across the world, and Yellow Shelf aims to interview all our authors. It's not always possible because I'm still waiting to hear back from Arnie. And for those who saw my LinkedIn post, he still hasn't responded. But interestingly enough, it's surprising, plenty of authors want to talk about their books. So as you can see from my YouTube channel below and my simple format in my newsletter, it's pretty simple. But yeah, I'll be sure to post if Arnie gets back to me. Because James set that as a challenge for me to try that, but it didn't work tonight, so I'll own that. So I'll talk about the team. The team is just me. I'm ex-corporate. I'm taking a deep dive into this space. I'm doing everything. So as a Gen Xer, learning to edit has been pretty fun, pretty interesting, and thankfully I have young children who tell me what I need to do. But definitely our future state would be to outsource some roles in marketing, content creation, as well as I may need to get some help to keep me organised when I'm interviewing in the middle of the night in Greece. So I'll share with you the Yellow Shelf roadmap. Well, we're keen to deliver, and as of December, we're going to start delivering all our podcaster content to our subscribers. Yellow Shelf really wants to focus on doing as many of our own interviews as possible and keeping them less than 5 minutes. Or keeping them to 5 minutes. We want to focus on our audience engagement, and we're going to add a review function to our newsletter where our subscribers have given that feedback, wanting to be able to sort of comment and provide some thoughts. We have a goal at Yellow Shelf to catalogue our library into genres to make it easier to sort, and our goal is obviously to focus on our subscriber growth as well as our commercialisation growth. And finally, our partnerships with global publishing houses is definitely a focus as well. And an opportunity for me this evening is, after tonight, I get to send this pitch to the head of Audible Europe, who is also the Vice President of Europe, and Matt Gain. I recently had the pleasure of meeting him here in Newcastle. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll talk to him soon. So finally, how can you support Yellow Shelf? Well, after this evening, I'd like you to all remember the name, and I would like you to be Yellow Shelf curious. Every time you think of a book or a podcast, think of Yellow Shelf. If you've got book podcast-loving friends, we all have those who just mention a book or a podcast. Send them my way. I know that there's probably about maybe 200 people in this room, so I'm hoping by this evening I have 200 more subscribers to the Yellow Shelf newsletter. So I'll check in about 10 o'clock tonight. Anyone in the room who could facilitate an introduction for me to anyone who is a book author, anyone who has a podcast, or anyone in the publishing world, I would be eternally grateful. And mentors. Hey, where's James and Sarah? I'm pretty coachable, aren't I? I action what I need to do. So if anyone wants to be brave enough to tackle an ex-corporate who's keen to make it in the world of a newsletter business model, let me know. You can contact me through LinkedIn. Anyone who actually kind of slightly knows me knows I spend way too much time on LinkedIn, but it's a great start. I've got a QR code at my booth this evening, but I do have a Yellow Shelf LinkedIn page as well. So I just finally want to thank everyone for coming this evening. I want to thank the I2N team. Amazing. Thank you, everybody. I have to thank my family because you have lived and breathed Yellow Shelf for the last 12 months, so thank you. My cohorts, oh my God, the best bunch of humans, so thank you. And I just want to leave by saying, hey, I'm not moving anywhere. Yellow Shelf is going to be based here in the Hunter. We are going to employ local people. And I would like to suggest that content creation for this region could well be complementary on the map alongside manufacturing and innovation. So thank you for your time, everyone.
And I'd like to welcome the last, but definitely not least, Jordan Freeman and Kate Maslin from Ariel Community.
Lucky last. Lauren, we've got heaps of merch for you, so everyone, come on over. All right, so hi everyone, I'm Kate, this is Jordan, and we are the co-founders of Ariel Community. So, people with disabilities make up such a large part of our community. In fact, they make up 1 in 6 people globally. And despite that, businesses still view them as a niche marketing demographic. We can't tell you how many times we've gone to speak to businesses and they've said, oh, sorry, I can't service people with disabilities because I have steps out the front. Businesses need to stop stepping back and saying, I can't, and they need to start stepping forward and saying, how can I? Because disability is made up of a vast array of experiences, both visible and invisible. The disability community also extends out to support networks, so people who spend countless hours trying to find the right products, services and activities for the people they love and care for. We get it, because we're two of the 3 million carers in Australia, and if it's frustrating for us, imagine how frustrating it is for others. So knowing all of this and knowing that people with disabilities exist in every town, in every city, in every state, in every country, and every single business has the capacity to service them, let me leave you with this question. Does that sound like a niche demographic to you?
And it definitely shouldn't, because the research shows that it's actually an emerging market and not a niche market for businesses. But luckily, we have the solution with the Ariel Marketplace. It'll allow businesses to understand how they're inclusive and how they're accessible and market that directly to the disability community. We also want to make it easier for businesses to collaborate with each other. So if you're an NDIS service provider trying to find something like a gym to support your day programs, to streamline that process. We want businesses to be able to list their promotions, offers and discounts. Not only is it a value add for businesses, but it is so invaluable for our disability community. And at the end of the day, we want to make it easier for people with disabilities to find the right information and the right businesses to support their individual needs. So if we look at the Australian market, there are 4.4 million people with disability in Australia. And combined, they have a disposable income of $40 billion. They have the money to spend, they need the businesses to step up and allow them to spend it with them. Now, we operate as a software as a service, so businesses pay to promote themselves and market on our platform direct to the disability community. Now, we've shifted our model a little bit more to what some competitors in the market have, because historically speaking, people with disabilities have had to advocate or force for their own inclusion in our societies, and we want to shift that up and put the responsibility back on businesses to advocate and advance inclusion and disability and accessibility. Now, we're entering an ecosystem where there are some players already in the game, but as you can see, it's quite fragmented, and businesses take up a niche aspect of the market. That only exacerbates the problem for the disability community trying to find the right information and the right resources. We're going to solve that problem by making a one-stop shop and making a centralised source of information for the disability community. So we have beta products that are already in market, and we've been testing and growing these over the last 10 weeks as part of the I2N Accelerator program. So a couple of key things I'm going to call out in this slide. We now have 1,000 freemium businesses listed on Ariel. We have 25 paid businesses, and we have an increase of business listings of 925% over 10 weeks. Now, what's even more exciting about this is, we're a marketplace. We have learned and built a process that allows us to expedite the growth of one side of our market, which is the business side of it, which means that as we start to scale nationally and hopefully globally, we'll have that traction already in place. So when our community users download the app, they'll already have value add. Now, our team is made up of myself and Kate, and we also have Joe Johnson. Between the three of us, we have 20 years experience in the IT sector and 10 years in the disability sector, and I myself am someone who lives with invisible disabilities. So next steps for Ariel are quite exciting. We're actively seeking seed funding to be able to launch our next features and can help us scale nationally. And we're also looking for mentorship, and specifically in the areas of growth and commercialisation. So, to wrap things up, disability inclusion is everyone's business. Businesses need to stop feeling uncomfortable with targeting the disability community, because when you do that, you marginalise them and you actually take away opportunities for them within our communities. And it's not about getting it 100% right from the get-go, it's about starting and learning from the community. Because at the end of the day, disability inclusion not only supports our communities, it's good for business and it's a win-win for all. So, if you are an investor, or if you are someone who is open to mentorship, or you have some great connections for us, or you just want to help us make the world a more inclusive place, we'd love to see you at our booth after this. Thank you.
Wow, that's incredible. So my name's Siobhan Curran. I'm the Director of Entrepreneurship here at the University of Newcastle. If we could just give a massive round of applause to the 9 teams that we've just heard tonight. So I realise I'm the one thing that's standing between you and a drink, especially for the people who were the last 4 to pitch tonight. So I'll be as quick as I can. I just really want to offer my congratulations to the founders on their pitches tonight and their commitment to the I2N Accelerator. From pre-accelerator stage, which began in April, which feels like a lifetime ago, they've made it through to the accelerator phase over the last 10 weeks. And it's really been an absolute honour and privilege to watch them progress through these stages. Each accelerator cohort that we have really comes with its own personality, and this group has really demonstrated the strongest trait of founder love and give back. It's just been absolutely phenomenal. You've really set a massive high standard for the teams to come behind you. So thank you so much for your effort. They say that raising a child takes a village, and the same can be said for startups and even organisations like I2N. So while the Hunter region is really best known for one resource in particular, I just want to acknowledge that another enables so much good to come from this place, and that resource is people. The I2N is just a small part of a much larger innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem, and its people really drive the success and will continue to do so. A few of those people are Simon Burns from the Port of Newcastle and Lauren Eade from Davies Collison Cave, 2 of our first believers. As are the University of Newcastle champions, Professor Alex Zielinski, Professor Z. Upton and Warwick Dawson. Thank you for your individual commitment to enabling access to innovation and entrepreneurship, not just for our students and alumni, but for people from the wider community, regardless of their affiliation to the university. It's one of the few universities in Australia, let alone the world, that enables that to happen, so thank you. Without a doubt, one of the most valuable group of people we have in the I2N are our mentors, 9 of whom gladly put their hand up and to really expertly guide our teams through the accelerator stage. They were asked to give up an hour a week for 10 weeks, but they have given it far more than that. Lots of coffee catch-ups, pitch practices and check-ins with the I2N team. I'd like to extend a personal thank you to Beatty Barden, Sarah Wallace, David Aston, Jason Choi, Richard Tribe, Andrew Stead, Andre Pinkowski, Jared Ward and Cecilia Boyd. Thank you. I am also really grateful to the wisdom, care and consideration of the one and only James Bradley. Our entrepreneur in residence with an insatiable appetite for customer discovery. He does it on behalf of founders at any given moment, even when he's on lifeguard duty at Fingal Bay. His dedication to the program and founders goes above and beyond what he's contractually obligated to do. He really is the most exquisite example of a founder that's dedicated to coaching, coaxing and counselling. Thank you so much, James. Second last is the I2N team. Richard, Kelly and Taylor, they are the dream team. They have a real passion to help people build their ventures and spread the good word of entrepreneurship. And Richard in particular has been with me since the start of I2N. He's the best. Thank you. He's the best manager of startup programs in the entire world. So finally, there's you, the people in the audience. It's really your networks and knowledge that are really going to be handy for one or more of the startups that you've seen tonight. So before I ask the pitching founders and their mentors to join me on the stage for a photo, just a reminder that they'll shortly be at their booths here at the side for you to connect with any questions and to make any introductions to people within your network. Let's use this resource that we have within the Hunter region that is so special. We joke about the 2 degrees of separation in the Hunter region all the time, but it's real and it's really, really powerful. So please grab a drink, a bite to eat, get to know the person next to you or maybe even on the other side of the room. Make those connections work for us and for our region. And thank you so much for your time in coming tonight. We really appreciate it.
I love going off script. I'm only really doing this just because Richard's got like a by 2-minute version of the script for tonight, and this isn't on it. So there's one person who we haven't thanked, who's sitting right here, Siobhan. I've kind of been on both sides of Siobhan for 6 years, both being supported and giving us some payback as time's gone on. I think you just used the term, you have a small part of the ecosystem. That's just crazy talk. Siobhan has driven this ecosystem in Newcastle for years now, and her work has been amazing. And then also, more broadly to the team, I kind of get away with an awful lot here, and your trust and just letting me do these crazy things and breaking your script, been awesome. So thank you. Thank you, everyone.